So, good evening, everyone. In this topic, the reporter discussed all about the data link control protocols. This is the chapter 7 of the data communication. So, when a data frame is sent from one host to another over a single medium, it is required that the sender and receiver should work at the same speed. So, this is what we call the flow control. The speed of the sending and the receiving must be in the same value. That is, the sender sends at a speed in which the receiver can process and accept the data. So if ever the sender is very fast, so the receiver cannot understand or differs the data that being sent by the sender. So if a sender is sending too fast, so the receiver may be overloaded and the data may be lost. So that's why we need to control the flow. So there are two types of flow control: the stop and wait and the sliding window. So the stop and wait, so this is the type of mechanism that controls the flow or forces the sender after transmitting a data from data frame to stop and wait until the acknowledgement of the data frame sent is received. So that is the stop. So there will be a gap while sending a data. So next is the sliding window. So the sliding window, so in this flow control mechanism, the sender and receiver agree on the number of data frames after which the acknowledgement should be sent. So as we learn from stop and wait flow control mechanism, so the flow control mechanism wastes resources. So this protocol, so the sliding window tries to make use of underlying resources as much as possible. So next control is the error control. When a data frame is transmitted, there is a probability that the frame may be lost and the transit or its received corrupted. So maybe so from chapter 6, the error correction and error detection and correction. So it might be causes by noise. So it may be lost in the transit or it's received corrupted. So in both cases, the receiver does not receive the correct data frame and sender does not know does not know anything about and loss. So there's no data being sent. So in such case, both sender and receiver are equipped with some protocols which helps them to detect transit error. So that's why we need to learn about error detection and correction. So such as loss of data frame, hence either the sender retransmits the data frame for the receiver may request to resend the previous data frame. So it causes lots of time to send a data if there is a error. So that's why we need to have a error control mechanism for us to get a good data sending and signal propagation. Error detection. So error detection is the sender and receiver either both or any must ascertain that there is some error in the transit. So this is the discussion in chapter 6, the error detection. So next is the positive AC key. When the receiver receives a correct frame, it should acknowledge it. So positive acknowledge. So negative acknowledge, negative AC key. So when the receiver receives a damaged frame or a duplicate frame, it sends a knock or the negative acknowledge back to the sender, and the sender must retransmit the correct frame. So there is a condition. If the receiver receives a wrong data or wrong signal, so the receiver requires to resend or retransmit the correct frame. So next is the retransmission. So this is what are this is what are telling earlier. So retransmission, the sender maintains a clock and sets a timeout period. So if an acknowledgement of a data frame previously transmitted does not arrive before the timeout, the sender retransmits the frame, thinking that the frame or its acknowledgement is lost in transit. And also there are three types of techniques available which data link layer may deploy to control the error by automatic repeat request or the ERQ. So we have the stop and wait ARQ. So the following transmission may occur in stop and wait ARQ. So there are lots of options or conditions to be followed. And next is the go back in ARQ. So stop and wait ARQ mechanism does not utilize the resources at their best. So when the acknowledgement is received, the sender sits idle and does nothing. So in go back in ARQ method, both sender and receiver maintain a window. So next is the selective repeat ERQ. So this is also a mechanism. So for our techniques to have a automatic repeat request. That's all. Thank you.